At exactly 2:17 a.m., in the quiet little town of Maybrook, something beyond reason took place. 17 children, all from the same class, suddenly awoke. They opened their doors and stepped outside, in utter silence. No glance, no smile, just empty faces, hollow, like broken dolls. And then, one by one, they drifted away, swallowed by the darkness of the night. What was calling them? An ancient curse, a forbidden ritual, or something far more sinister than we dare to imagine. The original Weapons script shook Hollywood. It triggered a $38 million bidding war between the biggest studios. New Line Cinema won, while Jordan Peele was so furious about losing the project, he actually fired his manager for not locking it down. Directed by Zach Cregger, the same mind behind Barbarian.
Keith?
This new film is set to be even more twisted. Cregger himself says, Weapons isn't that suffocating type of bleak horror. It's fun, scary, and way weirder than Barbarian. While Barbarian was about reflecting the outside world, urban nightmares, social horrors, Weapons come straight from his personal battles, like losing a best friend, confronting his own inner demons. It's more about looking inward and facing yourself. And make no mistake, this isn't some small horror flick. This is a multi-layered, epic horror, built like Magnolia, where multiple characters each hold their own, terrifying story. If Barbarian shocked you with its twists, brace yourself. Weapons is set to be stranger, wilder, and way more emotional. In Weapons, the word, weapons, doesn't just mean guns or blades. For Gladys, human beings, especially children, are the weapons. She gathers personal items of her victims, like strands of hair, clothes, school tags, mixes them with poison from her own blood. Then, with a thorned branch, she begins her ritual, summoning and binding. The children walk into the night, without resistance, as if their bodies and minds no longer belong to them. The title Weapons is a symbol. People themselves can be turned into weapons, not to fight wars, but to destroy souls. This mirrors the old German legend of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. The piper lured away rats with his flute, but when he wasn't paid, he returned. This time, it wasn't rats who followed him, it was the children. They walked out of town, and were never seen again. Some stories say, they were trapped in a cave. Others say they crossed into another world. But in every version, they left willingly, enchanted, as if under a spell. Exactly like the 17 children of Weapons. Gladys is the modern Pied Piper. She doesn't drag her victims. She calls them. They walk, silent, emotionless, toward a fate they don't understand. And just like the legend, we never truly know what happens to them afterward. A presence too strange to be just human. Too cold to be just an eccentric aunt. This is Aunt Gladys, the center of Weapons. Theories exploded online. Is she a centuries-old witch? A supernatural entity disguised as human? Or, simply a woman with a secret so dark, we can't even imagine it? The truth might be far worse than all of them. In the film, Gladys performs disturbing rituals. She gathers personal items of her victims, hair, clothing, even school tags. She mixes them with her own blood and nails them into thorn branches. This isn't just symbolism, it's mind control magic. Once the connection is made, her victims obey, empty, soulless, like puppets. Her purpose is simple, but horrifying. To heal her rotting body and extend her life, whether by draining her victim's life force, or something far darker. Director Zach Cregger revealed to Vanity Fair that Gladys was inspired by his childhood trauma, growing up with parents battling addiction. Gladys is a reflection of that, a destructive force that sneaks into a home, corrupting love, safety, and innocence. Beneath her supernatural horror, Gladys is also a metaphor. She is the monster we know, but rarely dare to face. Cregger gave actress Amy Madigan 2 possible takes on Gladys. Option 1, she's just a dying old woman, twisting the laws of nature, with black magic to stay alive. Option 2, Gladys isn't human at all. She's something else, something that only looks human. But to Cregger, Gladys is more than just a horror character. She's the embodiment of addiction. A house, supposed to be a place of warmth, becomes a place of fear. Children turn into caretakers, instead of being cared for. In Cregger's words, addiction is the spellcaster. It transforms the people you love into your greatest fear. And it turns home into a trap. Gladys doesn't need weapons to kill. Her weapon is the ritual, a mix of voodoo, predator instinct, and terrifying patience. She binds together 4 elements: a thorn branch, a child's hair, her own blood, and an ancient bell marked with strange carvings. Each time she rings it, the vibration spreads, through walls, into the night air, whispering into her victims' ears. A call they cannot resist. Her targets, of course, children. And she uses Alex, forcing him to steal personal items from classmates. With those items, she locks the magical connection, calls them to her house, and drains their vitality. Like a parasite, she doesn't kill right away. She feeds slowly, stretching her own life, by eating away at others. /film notes, Gladys isn't an all-powerful witch with a master plan. She's an opportunist. Like a rat scavenging scraps in the dark. She takes every chance she can. She's not a mastermind. But the result is the same: children vanish, and Gladys survives another day. The internet loves wild theories. And weapons is no exception. On Reddit, some claim Gladys is a parasite, not a witch, but a literal organism that feeds on human life force. Others see it as brutal social commentary, the older generation, boomers, draining resources, opportunities, and the very future of the young. Gladys becomes a living metaphor for generational cannibalism. And then there's 2:17 a.m., the moment all the kids walked outside. Some say it's not mystical, it's just the final second, when her ritual completes. Simple, effective, a cinematic trick. But the wildest theory comes from numerology and scripture. 217 equals 2 remain, Justine and Alex, and 17 lost. Others link it to Acts 2:17 as prophecy. Visions, dreams. Just like the kids in Weapons, walking into a destiny never explained, while the adults are trapped in a nightmare they can't wake from. In one scene, Gladys mentions consumption, an old word for tuberculosis. For fans, that's a clue: she may have lived for centuries, feeding on others since the Salem witch trials. The carved bell sparks more theories. Its symbol forms a triangle of sixes, the classic 666. A direct tie to occultism, voodoo, and forces far older than Gladys herself. And some believe her power isn't just in rituals, it's illusions. Forest scenes where distance and direction bend aren't just camera tricks, they're her magic, twisting perception, trapping her victims into paths she controls. All of this makes Gladys far more than a horror villain. She's an entity blurring the line between legend, black magic, and something eternal. In the opening, a small detail, the word witch painted across Justine's car. Looks like random vandalism, but it's foreshadowing. Fans quickly noticed, the true witch isn't Justine. It's Gladys, watching silently from her window. It's one of those early warnings you only understand once the ending hits, when it's already too late. In the end, Gladys dies, at the hands of the very children she hypnotized. But victory feels hollow. A year later, some of them still can't speak, as if part of their souls never left that house. The title weapon stays ambiguous. Are the weapons the children themselves? Or, traumas and fears that never leave us? There's no clear answer. Just an emotional scar that lingers, long after the theater lights go dark. Aunt Gladys in Weapons isn't just a horror villain. She's a walking riddle, a witch, an ancient being, or the living form of trauma we carry since childhood. Now, it's your turn. What's your theory? The most believable, or the craziest one? Drop it in the comments. We'll argue it out until the ritual's done. And don't forget, hit subscribe. Ring the bell, so you won't miss our next deep dive into horror's darkest mysteries. See you before 2:17 a.m.